All right, here is a screenshot of my professional website homepage. You can see a big mural that I painted with my students and families at a family art night of our neighborhood where our school is located in Harlem. On my website, you can find information about me. You can see my student work, my personal work, a lot of work from this master's program, and then there's a place to contact me as well. For my family migration, I explored the spiritual migration of my family. I have a really strong spiritual identity passed on from my mother and from her mother, my grandmother. And so I wanted to explore my connections with my ancestors through my spirituality. I did a series of meditations on imagining my parents and my ancestors as small children, 5-year-old children, to develop more compassion and empathy towards them. And so you can see my mom and my dad and my ancestors as young children here in my image, along with our palms, where when you look, you can see deeply into. For Globalization and Me, I continued this exploration of spirituality with the westernization of Buddhism. On the right here, on the eastern side of the globe, you can see the Buddhist Eightfold Path, which is tied deeply to spirituality. And on the left-hand side, you can kind of see how I've adapted mindfulness into a more secular way that I share it with my students. In the center is an image of me meditating and kind of considering the ethics of this adaptation of Buddhism. For my community study, I studied the Rockland Center for the Arts, which is a local arts organization, and I'm so glad I learned about them. I wasn't aware of them, and they offer so many different things. There's classes, events, exhibits, camps, outreach. They have sculpture gardens. It's a beautiful space, and definitely a center that I plan to utilize and hopefully take some classes from in the near future. Some insights. One major insight for me was critical race theory. I hadn't been aware of that, and I'm really interested in it, and I was intrigued by this concept of deficit thinking because it kind of labeled the approach my school takes in, really believing in the capabilities of all students regardless of their background. So it was really insightful for me to read more about this field of study and something I hope to look more into. Another insight from my Globalization and Me project is the emerging and complex field of American Buddhist studies. Buddhist studies, they can't really be considered a singular religion almost. There's so many different facets of Buddhism and ways it's been adapted in immigrants communities and in converts to Buddhism. So it was interesting to me to read about all of the gaps there are in the research and all of the exciting research that's going on now. For a civic project, one of my favorites was the Black History Month Family Art Night. This is where families and students were invited after school to come and make art, and all of the art centered around the work of famous African American artists. If you've never done a family art night, I highly encourage it. It's seeing families and their children make art together is one of the best feelings in the world. So if you want to talk to me more about it, I would love to. It's really such a joy to put on. And lastly, a professional project. My charter network puts on a big art show at a gallery in Chelsea at the Agora Gallery, and this is just one of the highlights of my year. Seeing my artists, my fourth graders here, get to show off their work in a gallery and just have that experience is so wonderful. So you can see their work in the background. These are images of a time they felt proud. And it's just so wonderful to get them excited about the arts and have them come out in the world with it.